I'm out at Abrams Creek Campground, which is in the Great Smoky Mountains. You can see a picture of the creek behind me. This is a primitive campground, and there's not much here. No showers, and no electric or hookups. And the narrow road coming down to the creek is four-wheel drive only, so. I wanted a nature experience. I wanted to be outside, and so this is what I wanted. Along the road you see this tree that is growing on top of this big rock. That's amazing. So I'm heading out for my little hike. I'm just gonna go as far as I can and then turn around and come back. There's a little creek crossing that I think I can manage, so let's see what kind of nature we can find. So at this point, the trail crosses the creek. It's got to get wet. All right, made it across the creek safely. So the trail's a little more narrow and overgrown over here on this side of the creek. I'm gonna have to do that again when I go back. So at this point, the trail begins to ascend a little and move away from the creek. So let's go up here and explore. So this is a multi-use trail. I can tell that there's been horses on the trail. So this section's pretty muddy because we got that huge thunderstorm last night. Okay, at this point the trail begins to ascend through the forest. So I'm going to see how far I can go. So the trail does follow the creek on the right-hand side. I get little glimpses of the water through the trees. I don't know if you can see it or not. Through there you can see a little bit of the creek. I'm going to continue to climb as far as I can go, and then I'll stop and turn around. This is my walk in the forest. So I can still hear the creek. I can see little glimpses of it. If you look right there, it's a glimpse of the creek. We've pretty much climbed that hill. Now that we've come to the top of that uphill climb, the trail goes to the left. So let's go a little farther. Okay, at this point the trail climbs up again fairly steeply and then turns to the left again. All right, so I'm not real sure what the elevation is here. I live at sea level, so I'm going to take some time to acclimate to the forest and the elevation here in the Great Smoky Mountains. If you ride bicycles, they recommend you rehydrate about every 30 minutes, but for hiking, I try to rehydrate about every 15 minutes. So there's a book called Forest Bathing. It's written by a Japanese man, and he recommends frequently going out into the forest and letting the energy from the trees bathe you and help to reduce stress. So this is my forest bathing walk. Okay, so I've come down off that hill and I've reached a little spur that goes over to the creek. This is not where I cross. It's not where the trail crosses, but I'm gonna go take a look at the creek here. It's flowing pretty rapidly. Okay, so that little short spur leads me back over to where I need to cross the creek and continue on with the other trail. All right, so I made it across the stream. So if you've seen any of my videos on the Florida natural springs, the temperature of the springs are 72 degrees year-round. So the water here in the creek, it must be about 68 or 70. It's not cold, it's very refreshing. All right, made it across the creek. So I'm not exactly sure how far I hiked. My guess would be maybe 2.5 miles, and maybe about 3/4 of a mile was steady uphill. So that's a beautiful little hike in the forest here in the Great Smokies National Park. So you see this green on the rocks, it's a form of lichen. This You see it frequently because of the moisture here in the forest. So I met two backpackers walking through the campground, and they recommended I come over and do this short hike, which is located on the other side of the campground from the Rabbit Creek Trail. So here we go. So along this trail, it's a little wider than the Rabbit Creek Trail, and this trail follows along the creek but goes upstream instead of downstream. This looks like a little trail that leads down to the creek, but actually it's runoff from the water coming across the road. The path is lined with these little berries. Boy, if you know if there's berries, then you know there's bears. Uphill, it goes around a corner. Right, so it's a steady climb up, but it's not a real heavy grade. And then it goes down gently. You can still hear the creek on the right hand side. So going uphill. There's the creek there. Makes a couple twists and turns. This is a very beautiful trail. It's well kept, it's wide, and it's peaceful and calm and quiet. I can hear the creek flowing right off to the right. It's shady, and I've only seen two other people. All right, up ahead is a sign, so let's go see what that says. Looks like it leads off the main trail. All right, so the Cooper Road trail, it does look like a service road. Keep going up in the direction that I was going. That will go to the Gold Mine Trail, 1.7 miles from this spot. Back to the campground, 0.9. So I've reached the junction. If I turn right here, this is Little Bottoms Trail. There's a backwoods campground, 1.6 miles from here, and then the Hatcher Mountain Trail, 2.3 miles to that. So we'll go a little bit further, and then I'll turn around. So this is the Little Bottoms Trail, right off the main road. Got to cross over a little creek here. So we had a huge thunderstorm last. Wow, look at all the downed branches in here. That must have been quite a storm to break all these branches. It rained all night long. Wow. This trail's in pretty rough shape. All right, so it comes to a real strong uphill here. I'm gonna have to climb. So I think this is where I'm gonna end my hike in the woods, turn around and go back. So it's really good that I listened to my instincts and didn't go any further on that trail. It was in rough shape and had a very strong uphill climb after that. So I'm gonna turn around and just go back to the campground. All right, I've come back to the main road. I'm gonna go back down the hill and go back to the campground, and that will be a little more than 1.8 miles round trip for me on my second hike today, because in the morning time before lunch I hiked the Rabbit Creek Trail. So both the trails that I hiked today in Great Smokies Mountains National Park are considered easy and family-friendly trails. So if you're thinking of coming outside to enjoy nature, these two beautiful trails are very easy and doable in one day. Come on out and explore. This is our beautiful America. All right, so we're coming back to the trailhead. That was a wonderful little short hike in the forest. Alright, I'm going to end my video here. It's been a wonderful road trip, scenic back roads, and camping adventure. I'm on to the next adventure now. And to all of you subscribers, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so and go to my channel and check out some of my playlists. Bye. Peace and love, everyone.